Boy, does Stellantis have a problem. You know, my sources have been pretty good, right? We've disclosed a lot of issues that Stellantis has had with the Charger EV Daytonas as well as the trucks, and that they delayed the trucks until Q4 of next year. But what if I told you, let me get on my butter the insider, but what if I told you that 58% of the electric Chargers manufactured are dead before they leave the factory, and Stellantis can't fix it? Shocking? I would think so. Now, what if I told you that the reason why the Dodge Charger Daytona EV was delayed is because over half of them that are manufactured never leave the factory because they're dead and Stellantis can't figure it out? What if I told you that dealers got one delivered, and I talked about the one in Illinois, but what if a dealer in Michigan got one, and the day after it got delivered, it was a brick, just like the one in Illinois? What if I told you that employees at the assembly plant are sending me photos and I can back up everything that I'm saying? Would that cause Stellantis problems? Is that why they're accelerating the gas-powered Charger to get it out? Maybe it has nothing to do with the new president that's coming in or emission standards. Maybe it's they can't get a reliable electric Charger on the road. Well, it's not what if I tell you, I'm telling you, because that's exactly what's happening. So I'm going to put some images up here first. Let me go through them over here so I could talk about them. So I got hit up by multiple employees. Now, I've been getting texts about, hey, there's an entire yard of dead ones up here and they can't fix them. But without having anything to back it up, I mean, I'm not saying that assembly plant workers are not reliable, but I also know that Stellantis is trying to send me information that's misinformation or misdirection. And I'm not stupid. I did that for a living in intelligence for 20 years. It's not hard to figure out if what they're saying is BS with a little legwork, right? But here's one for you. Another one, bad batteries. Fourth one this morning. We got one right here on the truck, dead as a doornail. Now, I won't put this one up here because this one comes from a personal account. But these ones I will put up on the screen, and I'll put them up here right now. All right, so here's the first image. Now, the first image shows you a row of Chargers, and they're all the electric versions, and they're not just the regular versions. I mean, the one on the far end is a RT. The other two are the higher end Scat Pack Stage 2, you know, top of the line Charger. The next image I'm going to show you shows you where it says here, battery charge, or basically the batteries won't charge. They plug them in, it looks like they're charging, the cars don't charge. The next image I'm going to show you shows you the Bumblebee, which we'll put up here, with the Stage 2 logo on it. And that is the car that's going to make Stellantis money. That's the one that's going to cost probably $100,000 at a dealer for you to get your hands on it. Now, here's the thing. First call is in effect. You can go through, and there's dealers that have allocations. Dealers are no longer getting allocations. And with the disaster that is going on right now with these at the factory, I could be wrong, but I'm gonna call it now and say we're not gonna see any electric Dodge Chargers delivered to customers in 2024. We're not. Model year 2024 is out the window. They might as well print new window stickers, change whatever they got to change with the VINs. I don't know, but model 2024s are never going to get delivered. Seeing the rate of failure at this high rate, like, it would be different. Your factory is only putting out 10, so they said they went up a little bit in capacity, to 12 a day. And that's in Windsor, right? In Canada. You're putting out 10 to 12 of these electric vehicles a day. That's it. 10 to 12. And over half of them don't work after 24 hours. You literally have a parking lot with paperweights in it. And Stellantis is starting to panic for two reasons. One, if they manufactured them but they were getting a government subsidy to build them, it kind of can wash itself out, right? Even if they had to replace batteries or figure out what it was and maybe sell them at a discount. But when the EV subsidies go out the window for consumers as well as the manufacturer, and you're already losing on average $60,000 for every unit you make, it will bankrupt Stellantis. This going on right now could bankrupt Stellantis right now. You want to know why there's no Wagoneer S? There's no talk about it getting to dealers this year. This right now, they're all on the same platform. The Ram 1500, the REV that Carlos Tavares just admitted, the one they had at SEMA with no batteries and no motors in it because, I mean, they don't work. This is an unmitigated disaster for Stellantis. And it all falls on the head of Carlos Tavares directly. He wanted this. He pushed it. It wasn't ready. You rush these to market after you fired the engineers. You hired these people in Brazil and Morocco, and maybe they're great engineers, but they're not in front of the vehicles every day. And yeah, they can look at reports and data and all this other crap when it comes to software, but there's nothing like having somebody sitting right there in front of you looking at the vehicle. Period. End of story. I'm sorry. These images are a disaster for Stellantis. So I'm going to cycle through these again so you can see them. But what does this mean for Stellantis? What happens next? Well, they've already rapidly accelerated to get the gas versions of the Dodge Charger out. The standard output as well as the high output by May going into June of 2025. That doesn't give them a lot of time. I'm willing to bet even some of the gas ones they're going to build are going to have very similar issues to the Wagoneer with overheating and thermostats blowing because they're going to rush. They're going to put these people on emergency overtime and all kinds of other crap at Windsor to try to crank these out to get these to dealers because dealers are starting to panic. Dealers are not making money. And when your number one customer for Stellantis is the dealer, that's a problem. And when you do deliver the occasional one to a dealer, so much so that... So anyways, sorry I had to clip that there. I didn't want to screw this up. But this image, you go from here, you can see here it says, fourth one today. Fourth vehicle in a dealer group that they got delivered, bricked. Dealers are not going to be happy with this, guys. Consumers aren't. I can guarantee you, even if NHTSA is going to get disbanded and cut and moved to the side as a government agency, before they would, there would be a massive recall on Stellantis. Well, they would have to replace the most expensive part of that vehicle. That's the battery and or maybe other components. It could bankrupt the company. There's a reason why they're changing direction. And Stellantis is going to use, and I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to use this as the excuse. Well, the Trump organization is in now, so we have to go back to making V8s and Hellcats and all this other stuff. Now, I saw Racer X's live stream where he said that they wouldn't go back to the regular pushrod V8. Well, funny you should mention that, because the engineers have already come back to Stellantis and said in detail, the fastest V8 that they can put out right now that bolts directly into that new Dodge Charger is the 5.7 liter V8. Is the Hurricane better? Can you get more power out of it? Yeah. If I ask men, and I start the Hurricane, right? And then I start the Hemi 5.7 liter V8 version of that car, which one they want? 9 out of 10 men are going to pick the 5.7 Hemi. Now, I know what you're going to say. TK, you're a BMW guy. You should already know about the inline six and how powerful it is. And yeah, but here's the difference. There's too much plastic on that engine. Go look at the Wagoneer forums of the people that are like, I don't have any problems. And then they're posting today, man, I thought I wasn't going to have any problems with mine. 7,000 in and it overheated and blew a head gasket. Unmitigated disaster for Stellantis. The cost-cutting measures of Carlos Tavares have come home to roost. And that includes the cost-cutting measures he's done on the EV side. Because right now, he's sitting on almost 50% of his electric inventory, and it's dead. Dead. Sitting in lots at the factory, and they can't charge them. How's that going to go over for your shareholders? We just broke the news to you. Again, you're hearing it here first. You'll probably hear it in regular news again in a couple weeks. This is about every time we break a story. It's like 2 weeks later you hear it in regular news. But I wanted to bring it to you because I thought it was important. Stellantis needs to get off their ass and get back to making products that people want. Period. End of story. Not saying they're going to be able to open up Brampton and start making Chargers and Challengers again. That's not what I'm saying. You need to make products, cars, and have the quality behind it that people want. You need to go back to the part suppliers that you had when Tim Kuniskis was the CEO of Dodge and didn't have to look up to Carlos Tavares to beg for permission to do things. You need to go back to the part suppliers that made the quality parts that made the people that love these cars want to buy them. If you don't, I will see you in bankruptcy before the fourth quarter of 2025. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, you guys know how we do it. Stay petty, my friends.